How am I supposed to know I'm that kid's father?
Next Wednesday.
You came here to accuse me of sleeping around?
I don't want no problems, bruh.
Girl's about to go down.
They'll come face to face with some hard truths.
Please don't shut me out.
Don't know why I couldn't see that darkness in him.
Some people are good at hiding the real them.
Not all of us are liars.
I've decided I'm gonna freeze my eggs.
I don't know what it is, but I think Hayden's up to something.
You don't want this Andy situation to go too far.
I'm taking care of it.
Tyler Perry.
All right, Sistas fans, you just saw the promo for next week, Season 7, Episode 5, entitled Hanging in the Balance. Again, shout out to BET and the official social media pages for Sistas for dropping these trailers directly after a new episode airs. It really helps me out in doing what I do. So, this is a pretty straightforward synopsis, and I feel like as the days go on, we might get a more descriptive, sentence about the episode. Danny is apprehensive about returning to counseling until she reveals past trauma that could be the reason for her present choices. Now, up front, based on the promo, we do know she goes back to therapy with, is it Krisha? The therapist. So I'm proud of her for going back. But that's really it. The trailer itself, I mean, to be honest, the only thing that I feel like a lot of people are talking about is the fact that Gary's going to snort some of that good stuff. And then we see, oh, this is why he's going to be, stalking Jordan and Andy, and then pulls out the gun and does something stupid. And this airs January 31st, so the last day of the month. Also, quick shout out. Thank you. I don't know if it's because of the algorithm or because you all like my videos just that much, but you all blew up the last trailer breakdown for this week's episode. Over 160,000 views in like 2 or 3 days. That is phenomenal. And hopefully they continue to do well. But for this particular video, man, I really don't know what else to say here. But we'll just jump into the trailer as always. So, going off the description, Danny's talking with Cressa in her office. So it looks like this time, Danny's making the effort to actually go to the office as opposed to, having Cressa come over to her apartment. So she asked Danny about, her dating life. And, apparently Danny brought up the subject of picking the wrong kind of men. She's not sure why she didn't see the darkness in him. I think this could be in a reference to Jonah, the guy from the airport who spat on her, who roughed her up a bit, and then she ran down with her car. And also, no doubt, the reason for her nightmares over the past 3 months. And then Cressa says, well, sometimes there are people who are good at hiding who they really are. Now, from there, we get a couple moments in the trailers where we pick up where we left off. And I made a post that maybe I should have worded it a bit differently from what I said. I think I said something to the effect of, so unpopular opinion. So far in season 7, Hayden has been a more likable character than Zach. Honestly, to me, I've liked Hayden more than Zach this season. But I think the correct way of writing it would have been, unpopular opinion, Hayden has been written as a better character than Zach so far in season 7. I do not approve of Zach going down to the salon the way he did. There are just so many reasons why this just was not good. It wasn't a good look. So Zach pretty much says, how am I supposed to know if I'm this kid's father? And then Karen's like, you came all the way down here to judge me and accuse me of sleeping around? And then Trey comes out of nowhere. I don't want no problems, bruh. Oh, so this is supposed to be your man. And then Pam's like, oh, shoot, girl, it's about to go down. First of all, I do not want to see Zach get into another pointless fight. No need of tearing up Karen's new place. Secondly, this is one of them times where Miss Lisa go into Mama Bear mode and shut this shit down. I give her full approval to cuss Zach out. Now, well, what about all the times Karen just burst into, goes over to Zach's house unannounced? Like I said, I had the unpopular opinion of not siding with Fatima for the way she burst into Karen's apartment, but the door was ajar. That doesn't matter. That wasn't her property. It's immature. It's reckless. Miss Lisa already told you not to come down there on that particular day. But the grand opening was over. You know, it's just, at this point, the event was over, and it just seemed to be like regular customers and whatnot. That doesn't matter. I thought Zach was going to just, you know, pull Karen aside to go into the office or something to talk. But no, he just came in there with a funky attitude, talking down about everything. Oh, wow. Okay, looks like y'all spruced up the place. Karen should have burned down that old shop a long time ago. That was just the wrong kind of energy and vibe to come up there, you know, just to spout his mouth off. I am not a fan. I am not a fan. I can already tell this episode. I've praised the writers for a lot of things this season, but the way Zach has been written is not one of them. I know that they said that as the season goes on, we'll understand a bit more about his mixed signals, but the mixed signals of the flowers and the whole Zach Jr. stuff, that's completely different from the cocky, just being a jerk attitude he's portraying himself to have as of, you know, tonight's episode and then the upcoming episode. Now, going on to, oh yeah, we got to go back to Danny. Tony does say, like, please don't shut me out. So maybe Danny's having some past trauma issues with the whole Jonah thing. And because she doesn't want to close out Tony, that could be why she goes back to therapy to work things out. We got Fatima talking to Andy saying, like, you know, hey, I think Hayden's up to something. And from there, we also have Fatima talking to Andy something about Jordan's potential rival for the city council spot, Craig Bassett. A story came out about him secretly having, you know, something going on between him and his secretary, the fact that they were sleeping together. And then during, I believe, like dinner, Jordan is talking to Andy, hey, not all of us are liars. I don't know if Jordan is saying that in reference to men or politicians. But also one of the funniest moments to me was during the trailer. Andy was in her office and it looks like she looks out the window, or she was standing in a hall, you know, hallway area with Fatima, and she looks over and she sees Hayden yucking it up with one of the, you know, the partners, one of the big wigs. And when, you know, Hayden is cheesing and shaking his hand, it almost looks like he's looking directly at Andy. So I thought that was pretty funny. So I guess when Andy and Jordan come from their dinner, that's when Gary's going to be stalking them, because earlier in the promo, you have Hayden on the phone with Gary. But before that, Gary's all talking with Hudson. This guy better come through with this story. I don't know. I guess the story, like a cover story for the feds to get off their back. But we do have Hudson going like, hey, you want a little something to take the edge off? And it looks like he gives Gary some coke and he sniffs it. And that's when he kind of like throws a folder or something off his desk in a rage. So then that's when he's in his car in the middle of the night. And Hayden's like, hey, I don't want this Andy situation to go too far. And then Gary's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And that's when he's looking at Jordan and Andy coming out of the restaurant. And we see him with the gun in his hand. And this dude's like, you know, rubbing his nose, which we know what that means. But let me just say this. That's probably going to be the cliffhanger ending. I wouldn't be surprised if the cliffhanger ending is Gary with his gun. And maybe we hear or see the gun go off. But then the final thing to talk about regarding the trailer is Sabrina telling Rich, I've decided to freeze my eggs. And then he has a shocked look on his face. So I wonder what's going to come from that conversation. I mean, to be honest, I think the smartest thing to do, regardless of how much they like each other, is just that, hey, even though we're currently having a great present together, if our futures just aren't lined up with each other, then it's best to just cut each other loose. But I will say Sabrina freezing her eggs because, you know, she isn't getting any younger, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, just call it a contingency plan. I mean, for Rich's sake, it's like, look, she's not asking you to knock her up right now. It's just that I like what we have, but at the same time, I do want to be a mother. I don't know if within the next 5 months or 2 years, if we're still together, I don't know if that part of me is going to change. So for my sake, I'm going to have my eggs frozen. So if Rich has a problem with that, I feel like that's a red flag to Sabrina. Like, you know what? This dude really isn't going to change. So go ahead and cut him loose. So I will be interested to see how things will play out with that. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please help this video blow up by giving it a thumbs up if you are new to the channel, or you've been here plenty of times and you like the content, yet for whatever reason you have not subscribed. Please do so, as I'm trying to get closer to 300,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.